Welcome to the latest live edition of Last Ball Boxing. Joined by regular Daz. How you going, Daz?
All right, mate.
Yeah, just the two of us this week, fella. So
Yeah, we
we'll
might get some sense then.
might do, yeah. You know, it's the cream always rises to the top, Daz, doesn't it? That's what I'll say. So let's jump straight onto it, Daz. So obviously we got a card, which isn't a bad card, is it? When you look at it this weekend, it's his own
Yeah, it's
card.
all right.
Three wheel
It's
title fights, you know, not a bad one at all. So we'll work our way through some of the card. First one's Nina Hughes versus Katie Healer, which is quite an intriguing one for the WBA. No one expected Nina Hughes to win the world title, even did they? Let's be honest.
She fought for it in a 4 fight, didn't she?
Jamie Mitchell. She went over to
Yeah.
Dubai and beat her. So
Yeah.
really good effort, and let's hope she gets through paydays. But I've not seen much of Katie Healy, I'll be honest, but by all accounts, this is going to be a good scrap.
Yeah, I think she's an ex-kickboxer. She won WBF title, I think, a couple of fights ago. She's very tall, very tall.
And the line in the winner up to maybe fight Ebony, aren't they?
Yeah, that's. I think that's going to happen. To be fair, it's going to be. I think who else is it? Torsland, Dina Torsland at that weight.
Yeah.
Ebony, Nina Hughes, and then I'm not sure who else.
It's not a bad division all of a sudden, is it?
Yeah, it's a decent division, mate. Yeah, it's good. It's it's exciting. Do you know what I mean? I think Nina's, favourite to come through, but Katie will obviously give it her all. But she's a late replacement for Shannon Courtney, so
yeah.
And I think she's naturally bigger. I think she's a super bantam featherweight, so she's, maybe gonna have to cut a bit of weight.
The thing I like about Nina Hughes is no one expected to go over and beat Jamie Mitchell. So now she's won the belt, and now she wants to keep hold of it. Obviously, don't she? She ain't gonna give it up easily, is she?
No. It's just like I don't know. It's a shame that the Courtney fight didn't happen. Because I think that'd have been a decent scrap. That I mean, this could well be. To be fair,
what's your predictions then, Daz?
I don't know. You got to pick Nina Hughes, haven't you? I think. Yeah. Just got to sort of cover. Go away. I've not really seen much of Katie. I've not really seen a lot of Nina Hughes, to be fair. But I think Nina's saying all the right things. She's prepared for no matter what. So probably, I don't know. It could be a factor with Katie coming down in weight as well.
Yeah, I think Nina Hughes have the bit between the teeth. It took her a long time to get that strap. And I think it would take a lot for anybody to rip it off, and I include Ebony in that as well.
Yeah. It's I've not seen much of Dina Torsland either, to be fair, but it's an exciting division, like you say.
Yeah. So moved on to the next fight there, because I want to get your view on this one. So Johnny Fisher, currently 8-0. He's fighting Amelia Salas, who's 7-4-1, 6'4" southpaw. Now they purposely brought him in because he's a southpaw. So you tell me, from your days of sparring, how different is it from orthodox to southpaw?
I didn't care. I didn't care because I used to switch.
Right.
So it didn't really bother me. If someone was southpaw, I'd just go southpaw with them.
Do you think Johnny Fisher's taking a few lessons from Joe Joyce's lesson here, where he hadn't fought a southpaw for a while, then jumped in with one and found it pretty difficult?
Could well be, mate. Could well be. He's an intelligent kid as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Johnny Fisher. He's not, he's an intelligent lad. So I think it makes sense for any fighter to, listen, spar southpaws, fight southpaws. Do you know what I mean? If you excuse me, if you're sparring out of camp, really, spar a southpaw.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The more experience you get, the more experience you get, the better.
I think Johnny Fisher's gone up in Eddie Hearn's estimations, don't you? I think he's gone from being almost a bit of a ticket seller who's limited to Eddie Hearn's almost thinking, nah, maybe he can go a bit higher and a bit further than I thought.
Yeah, if he's improving, obviously people will see that in Jim. If he's improving, and he might think, yeah, you know what, might have a bit of a tilt at an English title in him. Do you know what I mean? You never know, do you? And he's a massive ticket seller by all accounts.
Yeah, I've noticed Dave Allen's putting a lot out. Maybe not about fighting Johnny Fisher, but he's waiting for the phone to ring.
Yeah,
could well be Johnny Fisher, though, could it?
I don't think. Yeah, I don't. I mean, to me, that's a
Wardley. Do you think it's Wardley he's wanting?
Yeah, I mean, if he fights Johnny Fisher, he's going to be expected to beat Johnny Fisher handily into at this stage. And if he doesn't, where does he go then?
Would you give Dave Allen a couple of warm-ups before jumping in with either of them? A long time out the ring, Dad.
I'll be honest, mate, and this is no disrespect to Johnny Fisher, but I'd treat Johnny Fisher as a warm-up to Wardley.
Right. So you think Wardley beats Fisher?
Yeah. I think Wardley and Dave will beat him at the minute. He's very bit raw, and he's aggressive sort of thing. But yeah, I think they both beat him at the minute. But if Dave Allen fights Johnny Fisher and don't beat him, then he don't deserve to fight for a British title, does he?
It's interesting.
He's not. I mean, how many has he had, Johnny?
8-0 at the minute.
He's 8-0, is there? I mean, he's fought nobody, has he? I mean, look at who Dave's been in with.
But what about how long he's been out the ring though? I know he's had a couple of tune-ups, hasn't he? But
yeah, it's not it's not great. It's not great at all. But no, I still favour Dave to beat Johnny Fisher. To be fair,
it's interesting how they're matchmaking Johnny Fisher, though, isn't it? Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it could happen. Well, you don't know, do you? It can happen, but
yeah.
I would, if I were Johnny Fisher's management, be keeping him away from Dave for the time being. I think he just needs a bit more experience.
And the next one, I know we're battling through it, Chevron Clark versus David Jameson, which I think this could be possibly fight of the night.
Good fight, this, yeah. Good fight.
Because Jameson's got on record saying this is the first time he's had a full 10-week camp, and he only had 6 days for the wall. I've seen Chevron Clark live at Nottingham, and I'll be brutally honest, this might cost me ever getting an interview, but I wasn't overly impressed by him, Dad. And I know it takes time to come over to the pro ranks, but it don't always transfer, does it?
No, they don't always do it, mate. It's a totally different game. I mean, he's a good fighter, he's a good amateur. This might be his coming out party. This is where he, everything clicks into place for him. But if it doesn't, he's going to have a tough night with Jameson.
He ain't going nowhere, Jameson, is he?
No, he's going to have a tough night.
So what's your prediction for that one? Because I think he's going long, this one.
Yeah, I think Chevron Clark will take it. I do think he'll take it late or points.
He's in a killer of a division, though, Chevron Clark.
Well, mate, it's an horrible division, isn't it? Horrible for some, if you're in that division, it's horrible.
So interesting to see how he achieves. Next one is for the IBF World Super Bantam, Shaneka Johnson. I've lost my notes. She's fighting
Ellie Scottner.
Well done. Now this is a good fight because Scottner's a favourite. However, Johnson's the champion.
Yeah, it's a weird one, that, isn't it? It's a weird one, that. I've known that happened before, to be fair. I'm sure I have. But
Scottner looks a bit special, though, right?
Yeah, she looks a good fighter. Yeah, I mean, Johnson's lost to Shannon O'Connell, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
she's not looked overly great. Whereas Scotland is the one considered on the rise. I think Johnson beat Susie Ramadan as well. I think.
Yeah.
In a defence. So her resume is not massive, is it?
No.
She's been around forever, don't she?
She's taking this fight very seriously by all accounts. So I've been to the States for a training camp. So
yeah, you've got to, haven't you? You're world champion.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't think she'll be coming over to let her title go.
No.
But I think Scotland's class. From what little bits I've seen, Scotland's class, and she's got a class trainer. So
and probably got the bit between her teeth regarding being pulled from the Dublin show.
Yeah, mate, I was just going to say that. Yeah, she might feel like she's got a bit of a point to prove.
Yeah. So that promises to be a great fight, don't it? And then coming on to the headline, and I've seen I've seen you and Andy going at it on Twitter, about this and that and pound for pound and whatever else. Sonny Edwards. So I know you rate him higher against.
Oh yeah, mate, he's class. Yeah.
Against Andres Campos from Chile. Never been out of Chile. Trying to be their first world champion. Give us a breakdown on this fight.
Campos eats fresh air all night and loses widely.
I think DAZN got an absolute steal of a signing here, I do. I think obviously it's a very good match. He can talk, he can fight.
Do you know what? I were in his gym yesterday for sparring, and I were talking to Thomas Isomba, who's European champ, who's actually a stablemate of Sonny's now, but who's actually fought Sonny as well. And he said so horrible to fight, horrible, just so relaxed and just does things. I mean, he's been clipped, he's been put over, but it's a bit of a Naz situation, that, isn't it? Where he's been clipped, but he's more a little bit off balance, never looked in trouble, and I think in his last fight, do you know what? I was massively impressed. I think he sat he went and put himself on the ropes on purpose and fought off at ropes, and it was like as if to say, listen, I can fight off at ropes.
Another thing like Naz, though, is Marmite, isn't it?
Yeah, to some people he is. Yeah, I mean, I like the guy.
I do. I think he's very entertaining, and that's what you need in boxing.
Do you know what, mate? Right, I was behind him in flannels a few months ago in flannels, and he basically, right, mate, the way he was talking to the staff and everyone, mate, what a gentleman.
Yeah.
What an absolute top lad. Do you know what I mean? He would just, and it's when no one's looking and you see how they treat people, and that's when you see the character of some people, and you know what I mean? What a nice lad. Do you know what I mean?
I have told my hands up, Dad, when I say that I was shocked with Josh Warrington when I met him in person.
Yeah.
I had it in my head that he was arrogant and all this lot.
No, Josh is a nice kid as well.
What a diamond of a lad. So Joe in the sidebar says Edwards has skills to burn, won't lose a round, but when he steps up against the other champions, his lack of power will be a big problem. I don't think so.
No, it won't. It's not going to matter. Bam Rodriguez is going to eat fresh air all night.
That's the fight, isn't it? That we all want.
Do you know what, though? I think Sonny Edwards can win titles all the way up to bantamweight. That's it. And we've got to remember, the only one who I really wouldn't want him in with is the Monster. But he's now moved up to super bantamweight.
Yeah.
I can't see Inoue coming back down. He's the only guy, really, to bantamweight that I would pick to beat Sonny.
They've got to get Sonny more active, though, aren't they? He's with the right person, but he's got to get more active.
Yeah, he is, mate. Yeah, but he beats everybody, Sonny. He's too good. Too good. I mean, can you imagine if he had a punch on him?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But he don't need it. I mean, his skills just speak for themselves.
So if you're in the other corner then, Daz, and your fight is going in against Sonny Edwards, what would you be telling him? Is it a case of trying to blast him out?
No, you can't. You're not going to do that. I think it's a case you have to try and wear him down late to get him late. You see, the thing is, even though people say he's not a puncher, which he's not, you run in at him willy-nilly and he clips you, you're going to feel it.
Yeah.
Because he's good at you with shots that you don't see. I think the way you've got to fight Sonny is you've got to obviously cut him off. You got to trap him and just punch him anywhere. You know, make him work, but not necessarily make his hands work. Make his feet work harder than they normally would.
Tough gig that though, isn't it?
Mate, I mean, it is. I mean, I can't see anyone that's going to do it. Like I said, mate, the only person I would actually pick to beat him is Inoue.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad, you know what I mean? That's not, a bad resume, is it? When there's only probably Inoue that's going to beat you up to bantamweight.
I think his profile is going to be absolutely gigantic in a year's time with Matchroom behind him.
Yeah.
You know, so I think I think he'll unify that division.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely.
Then,
Definitely
like
favorite to beat Rodriguez, mate, and the other guy. For me, he is anyway.
And then, like you said, he's going to have to go up a weight in it and try and get some bigger fights there as well.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes up to, he's at fly at minute, innit? So if he goes up to super fly, then does what he's doing, then he's got bantam. Like I said, I don't think Inoue is going to be a bantamweight anymore. I think Inoue is going to be a super bantam. I just hope he doesn't. But saying that, if he cleans up at super fly and bantam, then who's to say he's not going to think, right, do you know what? I'll go up to super bantam and let's get it on with Inoue.
No, that is a fight. That is a fight, especially that high weight as well. Oof.
Yeah, it's not great for him. I'd have preferred it as probably. I probably wouldn't have even liked it as a bantamweight. To be, listen, Inoue he's an absolute. He is what his nickname says. He's a monster, isn't he? I mean, you just have to watch clips of him sparring on Instagram, and it's like, nah, he's frightening.
Yeah.
You know, he's scary.
What's your prediction then, Daz? Is he going to stop him, or is he going to points, or what?
There's a probable chance that he could have him chasing shadows and probably bash him up late. But I think consensus is that Sonny will probably win every round.
Don't you think he's going to try and make a statement here, though?
I don't think it's in his nature, is it? You know, I don't think he'll give you a chance that you haven't got. Why would you? I mean, this kid has got a decent bit of power on here, from what I. He's not.
He's renowned for body punches. That's what he likes to work the body.
Yeah, I mean, is he going to get close to Sonny?
That body won't be near to it, though, will it?
You wouldn't have thought so, but all it takes is a couple of body shots around. Swinging shots right corner, but you've got to be consistent. If you're going to use the body to wear Sonny down, you have got to be consistent.
Yeah.
You've got to, and it's what you're going to take on with him. I just think Sonny will probably have him chasing shadows all fight.
And it's the first time Campos has fought outside of Chile as well. So that's a factor.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, could be. But I'm not saying this is going to happen. But how many times have we been in situations where we've got someone who's a little bit unknown to us and they've turned out to be, absolute monsters, But no, Sonny for me, mate. He's the best flyweight in the world, to me.
So we got a comment in the side for Imran. Imran, I'll post a link if you want to jump on. So Imran says, I'm not sure he beats Rodriguez. That's a tough fight. Bam can really fight. Let's not judge on only one performance. And he goes on to say Inoue would destroy Edwards. I think
Well, I mean,
destroy might be a strong word.
I mean, he probably would, seeing as he's a super bantamweight, and
yeah,
and Sonny's a flyweight, but it won't be entirely easy. Tell you that now.
you've got to nail Edwards down to the canvas, haven't you? If you know what I mean, you've got. I'm not sure how easy it is to catch him. No one's done it yet, have they?
I mean, he's been clipped, so and then he's gone over, but then he's got up and he gets up with a smile on his face, as if to say, "Yeah, fair enough. Are off balance. You probably win that round, but I'll just win over 11."
Yeah. Like I said, I expected Profile to rock it. Eddie Hearn said today they're already in negotiations for the Bam Rodriguez fight, so I think that's back end of the year, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, coming away from that card, let's move on to the one that's happening in New York. So you've got Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez. I think these are two fighters that have got a lot to prove after recent performances. So this is quite an intriguing fight for me. I'll let you go first. How do you think this one plays out then?
Just before we...
Yeah, I've just seen that drop in. So Pigeon Powerlifter is a great name. Edwards' problem is he has no big time power, but I don't hate him. Great achievement he has done, but Inoue versus Edwards is a beatdown. Listen, I go for Inoue, depending on obviously the weight, but I don't tend to believe it's a beatdown for me.
How can somebody who boxes like Sonny Edwards get beat down?
You can't catch him.
Yeah. So Inoue, listen, I've probably no doubt that Inoue. We're talking about a fight that probably won't even happen. I'm just saying that Sonny Edwards. It'd probably if Inoue stayed as a bantamweight, which is 2 weights above what Sonny's at. Inoue stays at bantam and Edwards moves up. I'm probably saying that Inoue is the only person I would pick to probably beat him at the minute, or in a couple of years or 3 years, whichever, however long it takes. But I don't, with someone our Sonny fights, he ain't just going to stand in front of Inoue. No. Inoue's going to have to work. Inoue's going to have to, and I think he would, I think first time Inoue catches you, you are in trouble.
You're going to know about it, yeah.
But he'd have to set it up. He'd have to, set traps for Sonny and stuff. And I think he probably would,
Especially Inoue. They're both special fighters, but Inoue, Jesus
Christ. Inoue's like, it's hard to describe. He just like he goes in there and he knows he's going to absolutely punch holes in you. But he don't just go out winging shots at you. No. It's like he methodically likes to break you down. It's like he gets a kick out of breaking you down and beating you. Do you know what I mean?
I draw parallels with someone like Canelo, where it's super middle, I might add, where he kind of knows he's going to get to you eventually.
You know what it reminds me of? And he's obviously a bit heavier. Ricardo Lopez.
Yeah.
He was strawweight world champ for ages. Ricardo Finito Lopez. He was same. He was like at lighter weights. He had monstrous power, and it run heard of.
Them fighters tend to kind of put money in the bank, don't they? They'll work the body early rounds and know it's going to take effect later on, and they'll likely stop you.
I mean, in a way, he's got that thing where he could work the body, but he also knows if he lands to the chin, 9 times out of 10 they're in trouble.
Yeah.
So, but he still trains for 12-round wars, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Still, he still gets himself in condition to fight for 12, full rounds if he needs to.
Quality fire. Quality. So, moving on to Lopez versus Taylor. Great fight, this one. interesting timing for both fighters in terms of where they are in their careers. And I honestly believe whoever wins is going to go up in divisions. So give us your breakdown, Dad. I'd see this fight playing out.
Mate, I think Taylor dominates him from what I've seen. I don't like what I'm seeing from Lopez. I think he's mentally fragile.
He's very emotional, isn't he?
I think he's mentally lost the plot, mate. Talking about wanting to kill people and he wants a body on his record. And listen, I tell you what, when he was coming up, I watched him quite a bit, and I was championing him. I was like, this kid's going to be special. Do you know what I mean? And then he fought Lomachenko. When he beat Lomachenko, and it was like, yeah, this kid's just going to build on it. But then I started to watch him a bit more, you know, when he's talking in interviews, and then his dad's popping up, and I'm thinking, what's going on? And then he fought Kambosos. And let's be fair, mate, you know, Kambosos shouldn't have been lasting 8-9 rounds with him on some of his previous. I mean, Kambosos is a tough kid, do you know what I mean? And game, but Lopez looked like he could be a different level. And I don't know, mate. Something has gone wrong for me.
Go on, Daz. I lost you there for a minute.
All right, pal. All right,
Back in the room. So you were saying,
where did you hear to? Where did you hear up to?
Let's just start again, shall we?
Go on then. Yeah, like I said, I was championing Lopez. I was very impressed with him. Very impressed with him. And then he beat Lomachenko, and then he signed, you know, fight Kambosos. And I thought he was going to wipe Kambosos out inside 8 to 10. Because Kambosos struggled with Lee Selby.
Yeah.
You know, Lee Selby was a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but
not world level.
Lopez should have been dealing with him. He lost to him. I mean, I think I had Kambosos winning by a round or something. You know, I know Lopez thought he won. It was a bad decision. But, you know, it shouldn't have even been allowed to get that close for me.
Was it just a case that Lopez wasn't as good as we thought he was?
No, I think it's a case you don't beat Lomachenko if you're not as good as what we think you are. Whether I know a lot of things are coming out that Lomachenko were injured and Well, listen, if you're injured, don't fight. Do you know what I mean? And then, like I said, I was watching little things where he's in interviews and his dad's popping up, and I'm thinking something wrong here. Do you know what I mean? Something not right. And some of the things Teal's coming out with at minute are disgusting. There's
no place for it, is there?
No, and he's waffling on me. And Josh Taylor's right. He's waffling on about absolute nothing. And it's agitating Josh Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see it's
agitating.
That's not
hard, though, is it?
No, but thing is, it's going to work one or two ways, isn't it? But is it going to throw him out his game plan?
Don't you think Taylor struggles to get down to that weight now?
It looks massive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The thing with Lopez has got power. Lopez is a bigger puncher. I think Lopez is the biggest puncher that Taylor's faced for me. I think he's the most explosive power-wise. I mean, Prograde could hit a bit, but
Yeah, I like Prograde.
yeah, Prograde. But let's be right. I think I had Prograde winning that by a round, so that was a close
It
fight.
was a damn close fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I remember watching it and saying a point either way or a draw for me.
Yeah.
See, but it could be Lopez is quick as well, and he's got power, but Taylor's class into his. I mean,
Yes.
look at records at fighters he's beat. Listen, I know he got a gift against Catchall.
It's not his fault though, is it?
No, but Catchall. I think Catchall's a lot better than what we thought. Than what we'd previously seen.
Well, look how good he was the other weekend.
Yeah, so the fact that, to be fair, I can't even call Taylor and Catchall close. To be fair,
No,
it weren't. So I'm not even going to say it were close because it weren't. To be fair, I'd Catchall winning that handily. To be fair,
it's a massive fight. This is though, isn't it? Because I'm not sure where the loser. Well, I'm not sure where the loser goes. It puts them back quite a bit, doesn't it?
yeah. I mean, they got to rebuild. I just think the big thing is the stuff that Lopez is coming out with me. But then I thought to myself earlier, is this what he's trying to do? Is he trying to throw Taylor off? Is he trying to wind him up? Is this all just an act? But then I look and think, I don't think it is. I think he's just genuinely a bit loopy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And is that, if you're going to seem a bit mentally fragile at press conferences and weigh-ins, what are you going to be like when you're under pressure in ring and you're getting lumps punched out of you when things aren't going your way? It doesn't bode well. And Joe just put, Tio's dad's a massive problem. Can't see what he brings to Tio. He doesn't seem to know how to run a corner or give any way. And I agree with that, to be fair. I think his corner work, even in Lomachenko fight, it was decent, but since that, it
was nothing short of an embarrassment, wasn't it, against Cambosis, his old man?
Oh,
nothing
mate,
short of an embarrassment.
Yeah, it was terrible, shocking, absolutely shocking.
And there's a lot of calls wanted from boxing professionals afterwards to bin his dad off and get a proper, what they perceive as a proper trainer in his corner.
Yeah.
So Imran thinks Taylor's going to win on points. What do you think, Dad?
Yeah, it points to Taylor on points for me, but I always think when people are being erratic, how Lopez is, let's start thinking Taylor can punch a bit as well.
Yeah.
It's probably points. Yeah, I probably agree with that.
So, Pigeon Powerlifting, did you see Tio's father C3PO jacket at the last fight? The dude went full Star Wars, was strange. I think he's a strange fella anyway.
Yeah, I think he's out with stars, to be fair.
The thing that worries me, he tends to make it all about him rather than Tio, don't it? He's in danger of making it all about him.
Yeah, that's not what you want, that.
No.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Tio's father makes Angel Garcia look like Einstein. A good one, that, mate. Good one, that.
So the final topic of the night, I wanted to just touch on this debacle, which is Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua.
Oh, do we have to?
What do you think about Frank Warren coming out of all this? We've sent him a contract for September.
Well, I'll be honest with you.
Go on.
Right, I'll be honest with you. When I saw the video and the headline, what it was about from Warren, I hadn't even bothered watching it.
Right.
Because I'm like, I can't be bothered.
I do tend to agree with Eddie Hearn when he said, look, they knew our plans were to go out in August with AJ.
Yeah.
And to go out in December.
Yeah, so why September they offered him?
Correct.
Yeah. So, why would you offer him September?
But it's interesting because none of them have actually received a contract yet from Saudi Arabia for December, have they? So, they could put in all their eggs in one basket.
I mean, this talk is it Wilder v Joshua in Saudi Arabia? I mean, that's a mad fight. That
I think Wilder wipes him out.
Yeah, I mean, do you know AJ's a little bit gun shy at the minute?
Yeah,
mate.
Yeah, Wilder's not.
Why would you put him in with someone who's arguably one of the biggest punchers in heavyweight history? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I honestly don't know where it leaves Tyson Fury. I really don't, because a lot of the people in and around his ranking have already got fights lined up.
Do you know what AJ's got to do v Wilder, though, for me? He's got to do what Lennox Lewis did to Andrew Golota.
Is he good enough?
He's big enough and strong enough and powerful enough.
That's not what I asked. I said,
no.
Is he good enough?
If he's mentally right, then he'd be physically right to do it. But you're not going to do it. Let's be right, he's not going to do it, is he? He's not going to steam into someone who could send you into orbit. Do you know what I mean?
And let's be honest,
that's what he would have to do for me.
Lewis is different. Lewis is different gravy, isn't he?
Of course he is. Yeah, Lennox were a different animal. Lennox would have beaten most of these heavyweights on the same night.
Yeah. So if you had your last pound in your pocket, who do you see Fury fighting next?
Do you know what, mate?
Bakole?
No.
Too tough?
No, I think he has an easy. Do you know mad thing is about Tyson? I think he has an easy night with probably near enough every heavyweight. As long as he does his work in the gym, does his work in gym, does what he's supposed to do.
Fights like Walling, where he didn't take it very seriously, he nearly got caught out, didn't he?
Yeah, does what he's supposed to do in gym, does what he's supposed to do in camp. I mean, let's be right, v Dillian White. I mean, he didn't look like he was even trying, did he?
That's the real fight. That's who AJ will fight next, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Part of done deal.
I mean, I think he's got a plan. Fury's got a plan for everyone, because if he fights someone big and strong, he's big and strong himself, but he's skillful as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do think Usyk's the one who gives him probably the most trouble. But even then, I don't think he gives him more than what he can handle. And this is a sad thing about it. What a legacy he'd have if he just whipped everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'd have to talk about him
right up there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd have to be saying. I mean, even now, he's probably the best heavyweight of the generation, isn't he?
Yeah.
So basically, if he beats, let's say beats AJ, Usyk,
Joyce. If he beats
Zhang, if Joyce beats Zhang, if he beats Joyce, and then let's say he picks an up and coming American, if Jared Anderson, so let's say he beats them.
That'll about do you, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Then what are we saying?
Yeah.
Well, him v Lewis would have been him v, we'd be talking about him v Ali, won't we? I'm not saying he'd beat Ali, but I'm just saying then you start saying, well, he is undoubtedly the best of the generation. And that's when you're talking his history, legacy.
How do you think Joe Joyce gets on against Zhang next time? Do you think he beats him? Tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the scary thing where it looked like he'd never fought a southpaw. It looked like he didn't know how to defend the punches. I mean, let's be fair. People say, no, he didn't move his head. Well, has Joe Joyce ever moved his head?
No.
I think it might be a case his physical structures giving way before his chin does. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? So, he could get another eye injury. All it takes is a cheekbone to go because I think he's got quite high cheekbones, hasn't he?
And
He's
also, I think Zhang did a number on him a little bit. Came over all friendly, having his photos, took no animosity during the presses or the photo
yeah,
calls, and then jumped in and did a number.
yeah, did what he were. I mean, he did everything off his jab, didn't he? Really, just and he's a big, strong lad himself.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, Joyce were coming into it though. Joyce were coming into the fight a little bit, and
He's
then
got to drag
obviously,
him late, Dad, hasn't he? He's got to drag him late.
yeah. I mean, but is it just going to be the same sort of thing? I mean, it's going to be in China, isn't it?
I don't think they've come out with the location yet.
Well, I know there were talk about maybe China, but I mean that's going to be a spectacle and a half, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's going to be like some show that.
See, Joe came in really light for that one as well, didn't he? Which was
Yeah, I don't
strange.
understand that. I don't understand that. He's
So
coming.
I'm gonna stand and trade with you, but I'm gonna come in really light.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm fighting my heaviest opponent, but I'm coming in at my lightest. When his like his forte is strength, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. No one's been able to push him back or anything, have they? And yet, I read it on. If he was going to get on his toes and make Zam follow him a little bit, then I understand it. But then stand there and trade.
Yeah, he's never. I mean, Joe's never been one to jump on his toes, has he?
No.
And,
But I'd expect a little bit more movement though with him coming in so light,
Yeah, you'd have thought so. But it's. I don't know. I hope he wins. I hope he pulls it off, but
He needs to. This is career defining, really, isn't it? If
Oh.
he wants to stay at the top table.
the mystique around him's now gone.
Mm,
Joe, people were like looking at him as Terminator, indestructible.
yeah.
Not
There's
so
a
much
blueprint there now, isn't there?
Yeah. Listen, and I've said it for quite a bit. If you're not going to stop him with a shot to chin, bust him up. Just keep landing, bust him up. But he did get wobbled as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did get wobbled. I think we're at third round. He got wobbled.
It was the third round, yeah.
Yeah, and that were quite alarming, to be fair, because he's fought some big punchers. I mean, Bermain Stevens were a decent hitter.
Parker, he can bang.
Yeah, Parker's got a decent whack on him. I mean, anybody at heavyweight has, hasn't
Yeah.
they? But it was quite alarming that he got wobbled as well, I think. But I hope he does it. But
Just finally, do you see anything but an AJ win when AJ fights Dillian White?
now pretty much see AJ winning. But
Yeah.
same though. Same as what I think AJ would have to do.
Even with AJ being a bit more conservative now.
Well, that's what we're just going to say. To me, Dillian White would have to jump on AJ from start, put doubt in his mind. If he does that,
will be his game plan, won't it?
Yeah, if he does that, we could have an interesting fight, couldn't we?
Yeah.
And if AJ loses, then what does he do? Time to retire.
That siding money's gone up in smoke. See, Dillian White might see this as his opportunity to gate crash the siding money.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to feel like he's got a bit of something to prove as well, Dillian, because, I mean, he got played with off Fury, to be fair.
Yeah, he did.
And I like Dillian White. I'm a fan of Dillian White, but Fury just played about with him.
He's shown how good he was that night, didn't he?
Yeah, he levels above Inter. And let's be right, Dillian White, he's world class, isn't he? Heavyweight, he's world clach. He belongs at that table. But Fury just showed how elite he was.
Yeah. And I watched all the Fury versus Wilder fights back a couple of days ago. Wilder's tough, People don't give him credit for just how tough he was during, especially the second and third fight.
He is, mate. Yeah, he is. He's an hard kid. Yeah, he took some fists off Fury. in them second and third fights, and he went out on his shield in both.
And took some big shots because people
Yeah.
say Fury can't bang. Come on, it is weight,
Oh,
and,
he can,
you know,
he can punch, yeah.
and that's where I draw my opinion from. That I think Wilder will beat AJ because I think he's got more art, and he lands.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna keep. Listen, the thing with Wilder, he is probably one of the biggest heavyweight punchers that in history.
Yeah,
You know, and you know he lands. I mean, some knockouts he's done. You know, where he's landed, he's like, and you just see it. You almost see people's souls leaving the body. It's like,
Ortiz.
yeah. I mean, who did he blow? I remember him blowing Audley Harrison out as well.
Yeah.
And I think if he landed a shot, had Audley in trouble, then threw about 25 shots, 24 of them missed, and one clipped Audley, I think, half clipped him, and obviously made Audley have other ideas. But David A says he's a ridiculous puncher.
Yeah.
David A says in sparring, he did David A with 18-ounce gloves, and he says it's like nobody's ever felt.
Yeah, it's a problem, isn't it?
I mean, that is an heavyweight Thomas Hearns.
Yeah.
You know, how with legs like that, you can punch like that. It defies logic.
And he beats Usyk for me. And people laugh at me when I say that. It would land on it. It would catch Usyk over 12 and knock him out.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that's a majorly mad prediction. Because listen, I rate Usyk, I really do. He's really, really good. Very, very good. But let's be fair, he had a bit of life and death with Derek Chisora.
Yeah. I was going to say that.
And I was saying that. That's why I picked AJ to beat him, to blow him, to beat him inside probably 8.
Because Del Boy proper put it on him, Daz, didn't it?
Yeah, there's the blueprint.
Yeah, and ran out of steam. That's the only reason Usyk won that fight, because Derek was blowing out his arse.
Yeah, there's the blueprint. Back him up and just punch him anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, Wilder, Usyk don't punch hard enough to knock Wilder spark out on it.
Nah.
And I was watching Wilder on pads earlier with Malik Scott, and he was throwing that jab onto pads, and it was quite quick, and it was like, why don't you use that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think there were a point in his career where he I think it was after the Harrison fight, he had a couple of fights where he settled down a bit and used his jab a little bit, and it was like, hey, here we go. He's looking thinking, but then I think he went back to just throwing that. Yeah. I mean, do you know what? I'd love to take him on pads. I'd love to take him on pads and body belt.
To have a feel of it.
Yeah, I'd love, because sometimes I'll do 12 rounds with lads and Nick or something, and I'll have body belt on. So for cardio, I'll just let them smash away, and I'll make them work. I'll walk them down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'll walk them down. I did it with Mark Bennett, heavyweight, and I'll just walk them down, and for like 12 rounds, and just make them work. I'll have them throwing up sometimes.
Yeah,
I'd love to have a go at that. See if I can last 12 with Wilder.
You'd have a few bruises, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'd need a good body belt, mate. There's no two ways about that. I'd want a decent body belt, but I'm up for that, mate, for charity.
Drop it. I'll get on Instagram to Deontay and ask the question.
Hey, get it out there. I'm up for that. 12 rounds on body belt.
Before I bring it to a close, then, Dad, obviously a bit of a shorter version this week. Is there anything else you want to cover before I bring it to an end?
No, I think that's about everything, mate.
No, so we've got our predictions. Couple of good shows this weekend, isn't it? DAZN and the top ranked one. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we've got Adelaide's fighting as well tomorrow, isn't it?
Tomorrow night, BT card. Yeah, that looks a good card as well.
Yeah, I think that's a warm up for British, isn't it?
Yeah,
be what they're saying. If he gets through that, and then it's British title, I think. So that'll be Adelaide v Wardley, won't it?
Yeah, that's a good fight. He fancies that Adelaide, doesn't he? He fancies
Yeah,
it.
I've not been overly convinced with Adelaide, you know.
I'm not a massive fan of Wardley though. I think he's there for the taking. I really do.
Yeah, I think Wardley's getting better though, from when I've seen him a bit. I mean, I'm judging Adelaide on what's his name, Sokolowski, because he got a bit of a gift with that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He got a bit of a gift with that. But
Well, he's a problem. He's a problem for fighters at that stage of their career, isn't he? He's not a bad fighter, is he?
no, mate, he's a good fighter. But Mark beat him in his second fight. You know.
Yeah, well, that's some result, isn't it?
Mark Bennett beat him. Well, Mark Bennett beat Dorian Darch in his second fight, who'd been not distance, but he'd fought Joshua, I think, Dorian Darch had.
He did, yeah.
Mark beat him in 3 rounds, I think. And then Mark fought Sokolowski in his third fight. If you look at Mark's resume, who he's fought, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This before we go then, this British pound for pound argument then. Who's yours?
I think Sonny Edwards will be proved to be the best pound for pound in the country. Maybe not quite yet, but he will.
Yeah.
But he will be.
Yeah, I think at minute you can't look past Josh Taylor.
You know what taints it for me though is that last performance.
The catch-all. Yeah. I mean,
it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
But it's like you said though, it's not his fault, is it?
No.
Catch-all is better than we thought. And what if Josh Taylor? We wake up on Sunday morning and Josh Taylor's systematically battered Lopez and broke him down and stopped him or beat him wide on points. You've got to have Taylor as number one, haven't you?
The only thing I don't like is he wasn't very humble in the post-fight press conference. He could have took care of that.
Yeah,
admitting he got a gift.
He's Scottish, he's fiery,
No comment, but he could have, and also he could have said, "I'm going to rematch him." Not all this crap.
Yeah,
he should have jumped straight back in with him.
I mean, Josh Taylor, I was one of his critics when I reacted in the aftermath of Catterall. I was like, what a knobhead. But as a fighter, he's class, top class. And I think he'll want to rectify it. Do you know what I mean? He'll want to put that to bed.
Yeah, because his legacy is tainted by it, isn't it, Daz? He's going to have to go back and address it, or it doesn't, in my view, it doesn't matter what he goes on to achieve, people are always going to talk about that Catterall fight.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a shadow over him, innit?
I don't know if you two met Cedric. This is Daz. This is Cedric. Hey, Cedric.
All right.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
So you're in Europe then, Cedric? You're in France, aren't you?
Yes, Nancy, France, specifically Nancy, France, for a training camp with Team Canada and a few other countries. Yeah.
So you're in the greatest continent on earth?
I guess so.
So just while we got you can give us a North American perspective on Teofimo Lopez versus Josh Taylor at the weekend. Give us your breakdown, Cedric.
I am going with Josh Taylor. Teofimo Lopez, he has the skills, but I don't think he has the mental stability to. I just think the difference with Josh Taylor, he's a little bit better and mentally stronger. So I think that'll be the difference. I know Josh Taylor says he's going for the knockout. Most fighters say they're going for the knockout, but I think it'll go 12 rounds. But I think it'll be Josh Taylor unanimous decision is what I'm believing. And
do you think no matter who wins, if I'm honest with you, they're going to step up to 147 afterwards?
Well, the only thing I'm not sure of, Lopez just got up to 140. I think he should have a few more good wins before he moves up. I know Josh Taylor's been at 140 for a while, so I could see Josh Taylor moving up to 147, but not Lopez, not yet. But I definitely could see Taylor moving up to 147 to get some more bigger money fights. So yeah, I definitely see that happen. So Josh Taylor by unanimous decision, and then move up to 147. And who was the name off the? 147. Well, I'm kind of looking extra ahead.
Spence Crawford.
You've got to
I don't know about that yet. How about a Danny Garcia or something like that?
He ain't going to go to 147 and not want the cream of the crop, though, is he?
No, I think if he beats Lopez and moves up, I think Josh Taylor's going to want to fight winner of Spence and Crawford.
I understand that everyone wants to fight the best when they move up, but at least have one.
I hear that, mate.
Just to get used to the weight class first before take off.
I hear that.
Spence and Crawford are not just simply the top guys at 147. They're one of the top guys in the whole sport of boxing. Yeah. So maybe just have one fight with another top 10 guy just to make sure you're feeling good at 147.
That'd make sense. That'd make sense to do that, but I think if when Money Masters come calling, it's senses out at window, doesn't it? But
so Cedric, because you're a globe-trotting boxing supremo these days, I'm gonna get your breakdown on Crawford Spence now, because we're too small fry for you this channel these days. So I better get your prediction now. So give us your breakdown.
Well, the funny thing is here. I got you. For years, I was going with Spence. I'll give you the exact reason why. Skills for skills, I believe it's 50-50. The one, I guess, slight difference is Crawford could go southpaw and orthodox just as better than anybody in the sport of boxing. The only reason why I was picking Spence is because he's just naturally bigger, and guys, like when he fought Gamboa, I don't know what fight I don't know if it was at 135 or 140. I think it was 135. Gamboa hurt Crawford more than anybody else in his career, and Gamboa was a little guy. So my only thought process was, man, if he got hurt by a little guy like that, Spence is really going to hurt him. However, a couple of months ago, I heard something from Spence's trainer, Derek James, who I believe is one of the best, if not the best trainer in the sport. He said something about Spence when he fought Ugas. He said during the Ugas fight, when he got his mouthpiece knocked out, he said, he lost his focus for a second. He lost his focus and he got his mouthpiece knocked out. And then that kind of, put a light bulb in my head. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. Your focus against Crawford, he's going to be going for the kill. He's not just going to try to box you. He's going to try to kill you. So with that being said, I'm going with Crawford. But, I'm not putting money on it. I'm going with Crawford, but I'm not that confident to put money on it to say, yeah, Crawford's going to win.
You might change your mind in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't know how you I don't know if there's been another 50-50 fight as close as this, in recent times. So that's why I'm definitely not putting money on it.
I've got a little disclaimer though, Cedric. Do we truly know what Errol Spencer's got left since the car crash?
We will do after this fight.
Well, yes. I mean, listen, right after, remember, after the car crash, he didn't take no tune-up fight or anything like that. He went right after Garcia and schooled him. Then he I think the next fight was Ugas. So he's not I don't think, I haven't seen, other than what I just said about him losing focus for that split second against the Ugas fight, I don't see any in those two performances. I didn't see anything that showed me he slowed down since the car crash. I know a lot of people are talking that, but I just from the eye test, I haven't seen anything from Spence to say that he's not the same since the car crash. I don't know. I don't really. Personally.
Just one more for me, Cedric.
How do you guys feel?
You mentioned you said Derek James is quite possibly the best coach in the world, which I think is a big claim. What do you think he's going to make Anthony Joshua a world beater again? What can he do with AJ?
Man, and well, it's not just the coach, but it has to be. It's a team effort. Just because you're with a coach doesn't automatically snap your fingers and mean you're gonna make that change.
Well,
but it's hard to measure. It's hard to measure.
Wi-Fi playing up a bit, Cedric. Give us that point again. Sorry
if I was cutting out.
You quite out there, Wi-Fi.
it's hard to measure someone's mental strength or mental stability. Those two Usyk fights, I just think he got outboxed. I don't think he lost. I just think he got outboxed. That last fight that he had against Jermaine Franklin, I think he just wanted to be cautious to make sure he got another win in the win column. He was being safe. He didn't want to go. He could have went after him more aggressively, but I think and Derek James said it after the fight. He said, "This fight, and I've heard this over the years. It's like, just win this fight, and we'll worry about looking good later." Right. So I think he just to get the mental those two losses out of his head, just get a win, just so you're back on that streak, and then now his confidence is up a little bit. So I think, and again, if there's any coach that could do it, I think it's Derek James. So I think he still could do some big things. I still think him and Deontay Wilder would have a big fight. That would be very interesting. Of course, Deontay Wilder has that one hitter quitter, one of the only people in boxing that can change a whole fight with one punch. So I'm still interested to see that fight. It might not be as big as it was a couple of years ago, but I'm still very interested to see Joshua versus Wilder. I don't know how close it is to being made. I know they said something about a 4-fight thing with Fury and somebody else, and then
Usyk.
Joshua. Was it Usyk? Because I don't know. Fury keeps dancing around that Usyk fight. Your
do you
boy
think
Fury,
Wilder? Do you think Wilder's the most exciting heavyweight on the planet?
No.
No, do you think he's got the most aura? People want to watch him. Because I'll be honest, I'd watch him fight my missus. I like watching the guy. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just what he brings. Just that.
Exactly.
What I mean? Yeah.
That's
so
what he brings, because he loses every fight, but again, he's one of the only boxers in the sport that literally has that one punch that can change your mind.
Yeah, that thingy factor that you're just anticipating him landing. Even when he throws and misses, it's like, whoa.
He will wipe AJ out. He will wipe him out. Yes.
Well, being cautious again, yeah, that's why I'm very interested to see the fights, because Tyson Fury is the only person that even in the Fury fight, Fury got knocked down multiple times in every fight that they fought. Even though he won, he still got knocked down.
Cedric, if he can land on Fury, he's definitely landing on AJ.
Well, there you go. There you go. And
the thing with Fury as well. That obviously enhanced Fury's rep as well for me, because like in the first fight, that was basically a fit camp for Fury. He came off of that layoff and shifted the weight, got fit.
They thought they was getting a soft touch, Daz, didn't they?
Yeah, and in that last round, mate, he nearly decapitated Tyson with that shot. The right hand, and then as he's going down, that left hook sweeping under the chin. I mean, I watched it and I was like, I
still don't know how he gets up now.
I'm like, he's broke his neck. He's not getting up from that. And then I remember ref counting, and I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Wave it off.
It's like, mate, that's about as much use counting as a chocolate fire guard.
Yeah,
and then,
nope.
And then next minute, Fury's opened his eyes.
Yes.
And sat up like Undertaker.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say that. Yeah, he got up like the Undertaker.
It's like the lights come on into it. Like someone pressed a switch.
And then he's got up
and won the round.
Won the rest of the round.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
To me, how can heavyweights, because there's no heavyweight on planet that punches harder than Wilder. How can heavyweights look at that and not think, how am I going to knock him out?
Exactly.
So I'm not gonna outbox him.
Exactly.
How am I gonna knock him out?
And that's why Tyson Fury, although they don't get on personally, is very complimentary of him as a boxer, isn't it? And Tyson Fury always says, apart from himself, Wilder is the next best heavyweight in the division, and I stand by that, because if anyone else gets it like that, it's good night.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't see anybody else standing up to that.
Exactly. And like you said, I don't think if the referee would have stopped the fight in that first match, nobody would have been mad.
No,
that
was 100%. Yeah, if that ref had have waved that off as soon as he looked at Tyson and Tyson's eyes were closed, if that ref had have waved that off, wouldn't have had no argument.
And let's not forget, in the second and third fight, he put Fury down again during them fights as well. So again, he landed again.
Yeah,
so that's where I take my confidence from. That no matter who else is in the ring with, Wilder's going to land.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like I said, and Wilder literally is losing every fight he has until he catches you with it. Until he catches you with that one shot. So, I mean,
like he said, Cedric, didn't he? He said to Fury, didn't he? You've got to be perfect for 12 rounds. I've got to be perfect for 1 second.
For 1 second.
But Fury sort of disproved that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he were perfect for a split second, and then Tyson's got up.
But he's the best in his generation, Dad, isn't he? You know, I always say, you know, Fury's he's by far the best heavyweight.
Yeah, mate. He is.
Nobody else would be able to do that.
No.
Exactly. That's what I mean. So it took the best heavyweight of this generation to beat the other one. It took the best heavyweight in this generation to get knocked down multiple times, but still won the fight.
And let's remember, Fury had some life and death moments in that second and third fight. You know, it wasn't all one way, was it?
I think his best performance was the second fight, wasn't it?
I do. Yeah.
The second fight was the best performance.
The third one, he had a little bit less respect for him, didn't he?
I think he thought, you know, I've took your best shot, and because he mauled him in second fight, didn't he?
He did.
He beat him up.
You know why? Because he reckons a penny dropped, don't he, in that last round when he got up and bullied him. He reckons that's where the penny dropped. That was his defining moment where he thought, that's how I'm going to beat him.
Yeah, I think that were a lot to do with Sugar Hill as well. It's that Kronk style, isn't it? You know, that aggressive sort of, you know, boxer puncher style.
Destroy.
Yeah, that boxer
with that being said, though, and I already know I was going to disagree with me on this. Said a long time ago that I believe that Usyk was the new Evander Holyfield. Like if you think about it, they have the exact same career from the amateurs, both winning gold medals, both clearing out their cruiserweight division, and now stepping up to the heavyweight division. If there's anyone that can outbox Fury, I believe it is Usyk. I honestly believe that. Now, the only factor would be his age. I think Usyk is like 38, 39 years old now, or no, maybe not.
I actually agree with you on the point that if anyone can outbox him, it's Usyk, but I don't think Usyk can. But if anyone can, Usyk can, but I don't think he can.
And who was in the better in terms of comparing Holyfield and Usyk? Who was in the most difficult era?
Holyfield, mate.
Holyfield, yeah, definitely Holyfield.
I think Usyk will get found out as soon as he jumps in with a Wilder, or you know, I just think he'll get found out.
It's like I've said. We said just before you come on, Cedric. You know, the Usyk. I like Usyk. He seems like a really, really top guy as a person as well. But the blueprint was there from Derek Chisora, who isn't even in the same league as, you know, as Joshua, as Fury, as Wilder. And he gave him trouble. He showed the way to beat him. And I fully believe that if AJ had have executed the right plan and not tried to outbox a masterful boxer, you know, he should have welcomed him to heavyweights.
Yeah, Cedric gives me a lot of grief over this because he predicted Usyk was going to beat AJ, but I still stand by what I said. AJ should have beat Usyk. He should have big manned him, and he should have beat him, but he wasn't good enough as a boxer. That's my view. It's not that simple, man. It's not that. Like you can, if the skills were equal, then of course the bigger man will beat the little man. But if Usyk's skills, I just think are that much better than AJ. Even though AJ did win. Usyk's skills are better than most heavyweights, but I'm telling you, Wilder are going to knock him out because of the attributes. AJ didn't use his attributes. That's the angle I'm coming from.
Do you think that's a mate? Ari's, you know, a makeup of his though, Joshua's. Do you know, like Fury's a fighter, so I think Fury will do what's needed. I think AJ I think Wilder, Wilder will do what's needed.
Imran, I'll bring you in, fella. So you've been listening in the sidebar regarding what's been said.
Yeah.
What do you think about Wilder if Wilder was to jump in with Usyk?
That's a great fight, you know. That's a really, really good fight. And it's a really one of those fights where like Usyk could like outbox him for like 8-9 rounds and then just get chinned at any point in that fight. But for me, like you already know how much I rate Usyk.
Exactly.
I'm too much of a big fan of Usyk, but I also rate Wilder very highly. Like I know people say Wilder's rubbish and Wilder can't fight, can't box. I rate Wilder really highly. Like I don't really think there's many guys that can beat Wilder, to be honest. I think Fury beat him, and apart from that, maybe Usyk might beat him, but I don't know. Like I honestly think Wilder could beat everybody. Like I even still think, and crazy, I think Fury is better than Wilder, and I think I would pick Fury to beat Wilder. But I even think if Wilder went in with Fury again, that he might win. Like I think that's how dangerous Wilder is.
Anybody, on it.
That's what I mean. So it's hard for me. You can't write Wilder off against anyone, really. I mean, I think he knocks AJ out in 4 or 5 rounds. Like, to be honest.
I think a bit longer. And the reason why I say that, Imran, because AJ's a little bit more conservative now.
What do you think happens if he catches him clean in first round?
No.
But I think that will make it even easier for Wilder. I think Wilder will know that I can tee off on him, and I think Wilder would be more. I think Wilder's very confident. I think he's very confident that he beats AJ, and I think they're pushing for that fight, his team, because I think they know that. I think AJ's there for the taking at this point, to be honest.
Do you know what I like about Wilder? He's not your typical puncher. He's quite fast.
Yeah, explosive.
He's quite fast. He's not your load up, Ernie Shavers type load up, and he's quick.
Darren, the other thing I like about Wilder, he's not a typical bully. Like people might say that he's a bully with the comments that he comes out, but I don't think he's a typical bully. If you stick it on Wilder, he's not just gonna quit.
No, we're just talking about that, mate. Yeah, we're just talking about that, before you came on.
The Fury trilogy, he's shown what balls he had, didn't he?
Yeah,
and that's especially in the second and third fight.
He's got massive heart, he has. I really like Wilder. I think he's a proper...
Imran, I've gone on record as saying that I think he beats everyone apart from Fury.
Yeah, you did, to be fair. You did. I think the man's a proper fighting man, to be honest. I know he's come out with some nonsense in the past about Fury and stuff, but I actually think he's a proper fighting man. I think he's a proper fighter.
You've got to put that down a little bit to emotion as well, because it was blasting everybody out, and then suddenly he's got this guy in front of him that he can't blast out.
Yeah.
Then it's a bit of a reality check, and brought him back down to earth, and he probably just says things in heat at the moment, don't he? And that's just how it is. And Fury's probably always got his number. But no,
how funny would it be if Daniel Dubois took Usyk out?
No. I don't. Again, these guys are all...
I'm not saying it'll happen, but it'll be a curveball for the heavyweight division. It'll blow that Saudi event apart, wouldn't it?
I think that's another case of, like Cedric says, the boxing skill and IQ. I think he's just going to box rings round Dubois in there.
Yeah. He's got as much IQ as Chisora, and he's younger and fitter.
But is he got the same mentality? I mean, listen, to be fair, judging on that, if he goes
in with the right game plan.
Yeah, if Dubois goes out and thinks, right, I'm just going to do what Derek did, pressure him, put it on him, and just punch him from anywhere, lean on him, everything.
Push him back.
Listen, let's see. But it just seems
you can do that. You can do lesser skilled fighters. I don't think I don't just simply leaning on Usyk is going to help you win. Usyk is not just going to sit there.
I'll be honest, Cedric. I was there live at Wembley Stadium when Dubois fought last in December, and it was a freezing night. We don't all get North American climates, It was freezing in London, and I had to sit there and watch the debacle that was Daniel Dubois. And if you remember the fight, he got put down, I think, 2 times. by a bang average cruiserweight. So
Was
that
that
don't
the
bode well.
was
So,
that
yeah.
the Beterbiev yard? Was that Beterbiev? Was that on Beterbiev yard? Did Dubois fight on that? Was that the fight on that card?
Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora.
All right, okay.
Tottenham Hotspur. Sorry, I've got the wrong stadium. It was that cold. My mind's gone. It was Tottenham Hotspur.
Good stadium, that.
Yeah. So if he goes in with that sort of performance, Usyk would absolutely destroy him.
Yeah.
And Usyk was there on the night.
Usyk destroys him anyway. Usyk destroys him anyway.
Who?
Daniel Dubois.
Probably right. You're probably right. But let's see. I'd like to see Daniel Dubois push him back and make him fight off the back foot, and let's see them.
What are you doing in France, Cedric?
I'm with Team Canada for a training camp with a few other countries now. Today's our second to last day.
It's big time, Cedric, you know.
Introduce you to a future star here.
You got
His
any?
name's Muhammad Ali. He's gonna be turning pro in a couple of years.
What up?
You got any?
Yeah.
You got any female super flyweights? Possibly
Female
have
super
a train,
fly.
possibly have a training camp.
His
in
sister
Canada?
is gonna be a star too, but
Not super flyweight though.
not super flyweight, but whatever. She'll be a star. But anyways, just
Flyweight.
remember his name, Muhammad Ali. He'll be
I'll
pro in a couple of
remember.
years. He's best in Canada right now. He already took out most of the guys from the UK.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
What weight?
No-
What weight
no
again,
one-
Cedric? What
No
weight?
one half trained though. No one half trained.
Respectfully. I meant that in a respectful way.
Cedric, what weight's a young man going to be operating at?
Wait.
Wait, when I turn pro?
Yeah.
When I if I turn
Oh.
right now 126, but we'll see in a few years, maybe 130.
130.
Could he?
In a few years, maybe. Now, right now, 126.
He's only 19.
So, how many fights have you had over in France? How's it going?
It's not. It's sparring. It's a training camp.
The sparring. So, are you sparring the French? Are you sparring the French guys then? Yeah.
I sparred a French guy. I sparred Algerian and Colombian.
So, how are you finding the European and South American style?
The what?
The European.
How are you finding the style? There's obviously different styles, isn't there?
Yeah, it's way different. I think the South American style is more like dancing, and then there's the European style is more bouncing on your toes and using long reach.
Well, you've got a British Boxing Board of Control trainer here in Daz. And he does.
Say that again.
Darren's a British Boxing Board of Control trainer, so you're in good company, Cedric.
Okay, nice.
So you're going to do big things, aren't you, Darren?
Well, so people say. But we'll see.
Hey, hold on. I got another coach here. He wants to get on the topic of Usyk and Dubois.
Interesting conversation.
I'm out of here.
I want to hear the interesting conversation. Sorry, I got into this. I heard it, and it's interesting. So, what is your something on this situation?
So we'll start at the beginning then. So what's your name, fella? What's your name?
Samir Elmays.
Nice to meet you. So we're a little bit split. So obviously Cedric thinks that Usyk. I don't know. What do you think, Cedric? Usyk would beat? Did you say he would beat Wilder?
Yes. I think Usyk
Yeah,
will
well,
take.
that's nonsense. So you lot have obviously been on the alcohol. So we'll keep this short. Whereas I'll speak for myself. I think Wilder would knock Usyk out.
Well, again, Wilder will knock anybody out that he touches. I'm just thinking Usyk has the skills, the footwork to avoid that.
We'll make your mind up.
No,
I think he'll box him the same way he boxed AJ.
I get what he's saying, Carl. I understand what he's saying, and if anyone could outbox Wilder and Fury, it would be Usyk.
It is a bit would have, could have, should have, though, isn't it?
Yeah. But like you said, Wilder lands in pretty much every heavyweight other than Fury seems to be going to sleep.
So who do you think will win then? You jumped on camera, so who do you think's gonna win?
Against Dubois or Wilder?
No, we're doing a fantasy fight at the minute. We're talking Usyk versus Wilder.
Yeah, Usyk versus Wilder. Okay. I think Usyk will win because he's smart, the footwork, and I think Wilder can't fight backwards. And we've seen that against Fury.
Do you think Usyk's strong enough to push Wilder back?
I think because he was able to push AJ back and he's way stronger and bigger.
I get your point, but do you not think that also could have been due to Joshua's mentality?
He tried to bully him, but he couldn't bully, and he couldn't bully Usyk. So he tried to bully him, but he was too hesitant.
Yeah, do you think he went negative in his mind? So he went negative in his body?
I don't know what was going on in his camp or in his mind or any of that, but they run it back, and he's got some of the best coaches. And I just think his level, he only had 40-something amateur fights. You got to think of it. For him to become a world champion, it was all heart and desire. He has skills. I love Joshua, but I knew this day was coming. And Usyk, I bet on him all day against Joshua. If you put him,
not Wilder.
If you put him in with Tyson Fury with all the skill and all the amateur background, he wins.
You think Usyk beats Fury?
Samir is a former Commonwealth gold medalist, in case you were wondering about his.
No, listen.
Just to clarify, Usyk beats Fury.
No,
I think
Fury.
So.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the clarification.
No, his agility is too good. I think it's going to be a tight game, and then it's going to be a win split decision by Fury.
Tyson Fury absolutely steamrolled Usyk.
Cedric? What did you say he won?
I said Samir is a former Commonwealth gold medalist, in case you were wondering his background.
No, mate. Respect to you, mate. 100%.
Thank you.
Class.
I think he was asking, what do you think about Fury against Usyk?
Usyk, 12 rounds.
Usyk, 12. My God.
Yeah.
You Canadians do make me laugh with your predictions.
I actually had my eye on a Canadian fighter for Nick not long ago.
Did you?
What's her name? Alexis Kubicki or something, I think. She's a Commonwealth flyweight champ, I think.
Canadian?
Yeah, I'm sure her name's Alexis. They call her the Iron Lady. She's only young.
How many years ago was this?
Oh, this is like recently.
Well, just while Darren has a look, Cedric, what about that well-known Canadian Beterbiev versus Callum Smith?
Oh, Beterbiev smashes everyone. That's not even a question.
Can you see? Can you see her?
Oh, can you see? I've never seen her before.
No, she's.
Have you seen this one?
Yeah. She's based in Edmonton.
What's her name?
Alexis,
Edmonton. Bro.
Alexis Kubicki.
She's a professional, not amateur, correct?
Yeah. Sorry, she's professional. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Samir, what's your thoughts on Callum Smith versus Beterbiev?
Knockout.
Yeah.
Stoppage. Not against Pivot. That's a tough one.
I was just gonna say, what about
That's
Bivol?
A great fight.
That's a tough one.
But don't forget,
Bivol.
Bivol in the amateurs. That's the reason why Bivol didn't go to the Olympics, is because Beterbiev beat him in the amateurs. So everyone looks at Beterbiev as a knockout artist, but he's actually
he wouldn't beat him in the he wouldn't beat him in the pros though. Bivol would beat Beterbiev.
Oh boy. Okay.
Beterbiev is 38 years old. I think he's still we've seen him do his thing against the British boy there,
Anthony Yardy.
And that's a strong boxer. He was able to survive and knock him out and finish him. I think he's durable for 12 rounds. His cardio is amazing. I think Pivot has some good power, snappy jab. but I think he's the bigger guy. But Beterbiev is gonna walk him down and break him down just like Godzik.
Yeah.
Imran, give me some. Imran, I'll bring you in here, Imran. Bivol versus Beterbiev first. Talk to me. Who you got?
That's a 50-50, to be honest. That's a hard one. I would say that at this point, maybe Bivol I think maybe 1 or 2 years ago, I would probably pick Beterbiev. But now at 39, I mean, Bivol's looking really good. I do think, though, Beterbiev's going to beat Callum Smith. I think if we look at Callum Smith's fights where he struggled in against John Ryder and Canelo, I know you guys are going to bring up the weight and say that he was drained. I don't really buy that. I don't really buy the weight. But even if we take that, he struggled against effectively two guys that were pressuring him. And as soon as he got on the ropes, Callum Smith was like clueless. Callum Smith's good at distance. If you give Callum Smith space, he uses those long levers to smack. He's good at range. As soon as you cut the ring off on Callum Smith, he's clueless. He doesn't know what to do.
I fancy better. I'll tell you. Let me just put my case across for Callum Smith.
Yeah,
I think Beterbiev is on the slide. I think for Anthony Yard to hang with him for as long as he did tells me that he's on the slide, because I don't particularly think Anthony Yard's world class. I think Callum Smith is levels above Anthony Yard in terms of boxing ability. So he's going to have to knock Beterbiev out, though, because he's in Canada. And we all know what happens in Canada when you've got a Canadian-owned fight. So I don't need to go any further there.
But Paul,
the always one.
Allegedly. Sorry, Mal. Just use the word allegedly, because I don't want no legal papers.
The always won the Canadians for Butte and Froch, don't they?
You're gonna hit us with that. Okay.
You don't travel very well, do you, lads?
I got to tell Samara that these guys, they also claim Lennox Lewis to be theirs, even though he's Canadian. But
here we go. Here we go.
Hold on, Samir. One question I'm gonna ask you, Samir. Look at the camera. I know you're shocked. Where was Lennox Lewis born?
West Ham.
Last time I looked, West Ham's in London, not Ontario.
Yeah, and then you went back to London and picked up that British accent of yours and came back.
Listen,
when he won the world title, what flag was behind him? Because he won a maple leaf.
You've got to let us have Lennox back, because we took Greg Rosetsky off you.
I know it's not a very good trade, is it?
Come on. You've got to let us have Lennox back. We ended up with Greg Rosetsky.
Who's
Tennis player.
Tennis player.
Go on, Imran. What was you going to ask, man?
Yeah, basically what I was going to say is that Yard, I do agree with you. I think Callum Smith's a better fighter than Yard. But I think Callum Smith and Yard have two different styles. I mean, Yard is more energetic. He's a different type of fighter, and he stuck it on Beterbiev. I don't think Callum Smith's that type of fighter. Callum Smith's a more technical, a guy that likes to box at range. And I just think stylistically, it's not a great fight. I just don't think it's a great fight. I think Beterbiev is the kind of style that gives Callum Smith problems. He's a pressure fighter. And if we go off his two poor performances in his career, it's Ryder and Canelo. Both of those guys pressured him, and he was fighting on the ropes, and he was terrible.
But you know him, man. He was dead at 168, wasn't he?
But
Imran.
So do you think but in both those fights, it was only the weight and it wasn't the style that those guys employed?
Definitely the Canelo fight, he was dead at 168. I'm not sure I can give him a pass for the Ryder fight, but the Canelo fight, he was absolutely dead at the weight. And I've had that on very good authority.
But if we go off the style, he really struggled against Ryder, who, by the way, against Canelo, put in a much better performance than Callum Smith did. Ryder put in a.
Well, don't you think Callum Smith's win against John Ryder aged quite well, bearing in mind the way he won there with Canelo?
Carl, I don't think he won that fight. I thought he lost. So again, I thought he got. I don't know what you guys thought. Darren, what did you think? I don't think he won that fight.
Close.
Which
fight. Yeah, I gave it Ryder, to be fair.
John Ryder versus Callum Smith, Cedric.
Oh shoot, I don't remember that one off the top of my head.
Yeah, I gave it Ryder, to be fair, if I'm honest. Wasn't one of his better. I just think that, I mean, I've people that have, spoken to people that have sparred Smith and stuff and said he's a frighteningly powerful puncher. And Beterbiev gets it. But
Oh yeah.
Does he punch as hard as what Yard does?
About Beterbiev, I know everyone mentions his age, but I think everyone's different. I just think Beterbiev, from what I understand, how disciplined he is with his outside life.
His training camps look absolute sick.
I'm hoping, Cedric. I'm hoping that Father Time's caught up with him for this fight. I'm hoping Father Time pays a visit.
You're hoping.
If it hasn't, he wins, doesn't he? If it hasn't, Beterbiev wins. To be fair, let's be right. I think we a mixture of Beterbiev maybe being on slide and Callum Smith being good might be enough for Callum. But if Beterbiev has got it left, Callum Smith is in for a tough night. A losing night, probably.
Darren, Carl, I want to ask you a question because I know Carl likes Smith.
I do.
So I wanted to put this to you, right? Like, I've noticed in Callum Smith, when I first saw Callum Smith, I was pretty high on Smith. I thought this guy was going to be something special. Then after I saw a few fights, especially to now, I saw a few fights, and I feel like he's got all the ability, he's got all the technical ability, he's got everything there. But there's something I think about him, even when I listen to him speak, and I saw that in the Canelo fight as well. I know Carl saying he's dead at the weight, but I feel that there's something mentally, in terms of mental strength, like I feel if it gets tough in there, I think he's happy to be second best. From what I saw in the Canelo fight,
I'll be honest, Imran, I've just not seen that. So I've just not seen that.
Fight, you didn't think he was just happy being second best?
He blew his bicep, didn't he? He blew his bicep, so maybe he was just glad to hear the final bell on that occasion. But I've not seen anything in any other fight where I don't think he's got the dog in him.
I think you've got to look as well when we see Callum Smith like coming up and stuff like that, and he knocked Rocky Fielding out and stuff like that, and as he was coming up, the opponents have got way better on there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we're always going to get harder for him. He was never going to be able to just start keep knocking people.
We'll find out how good he is in this fight, won't we?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But
definitely.
I do
we know what the purse is for both fighters in this. Beterbiev and Smith.
I've not heard anything about how much.
No, probably about a 75-25% split normally, isn't it, for mandatory?
Interesting.
So almost a penny behind you, Cedric, with your salary.
Just wondering.
A lot of money in amateur boxing then, because
obviously,
if there is, I might swap.
Private jet out to France.
Private jet out.
You got any jobs going on in Canada?
He's got his bodyguard next to him. Look, Sam here.
You got any jobs going? Any jobs going on Team Canada?
Not right now. We're good now. We're good.
I can put a fake Canadian accent on. I'll fit it.
You don't need to. Just say your name's Lennox Lewis. You'll be all right. They think Lennox Lewis is Canadian.
Here we go.
Well, I was near West Ham last Saturday, so does that class me as, No.
Right, I'm going to bring the show to a close, lads. All right, so Imran, thanks for joining. Cedric and Samir, pleasure having you on the channel. Daz, cheers for your efforts. Thank you to everyone in the sidebar. Like, comment, subscribe. And Lennox Lewis is definitely English. Good night, everybody.